Good night, St. Lucia, and good night, everyone in the diaspora, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for tuning in to a delayed episode of Keeping It Real. Of course, we just heard live the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and the Chief Medical Officer updating the nation on the way forward and the announcement of a 24/7 lockdown. That is from tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. until the 7th of April. And I'm telling you folks, shout out to everybody. Gonna get it straight into the action tonight. And I can't say, and you can't say, folks, that we didn't tell you so. Heads up to our word! And the stupid actions of a few people, or too many people, the stupid actions are what have caused us to be, we're not on Facebook, or what have caused us to be here tonight. And with all the warnings, with all the news articles online, on cable TV, on all the major news networks around the world, the topic of discussion everywhere from the beginning of this year has been the coronavirus and then COVID-19. It has been. And I don't know what to tell you folks, other than I told you so. You were warned, you were told the measures that were needed to keep this under control. You couldn't prevent it, but the social distancing, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, put some on there because some of your bad vibes might be coming through the TV there. Yeah? Bad vibes. Bis tetzot wed. Your head hard. And folks, I don't know what to tell you. Let me just I type 2 so. Folks, you know, this wasn't planned to coincide with the Prime Minister's updates and the update of the Chief Medical Officer. But nevertheless, my sequence of discussion here tonight clearly indicates the concerns that so many St. Lucians have had over the past few days, at least the past 2 weeks. And I want to go into, you ready for me there? I want to go into a video. I'm not going to introduce it. I just want you to see for yourself and tell me if this is not part of what has gotten us to where we are today. Roll it.
Hello everyone. We are going to ask everybody to leave this area, stop that neighborhood, and go to your home.
Yes, I know I'm back. I'm back because tonight is a flurry of messages and everything there. So anyway, folks, there's another video that enraged St. Lucians. Enrage them. Fait enrager. And the blatant disregard for themselves, the blatant disregard for the people of St. Lucia, the blatant disregard and lack of any modicum of care for their relatives, mother, father, nenen, tonton, you name it. Let's roll the second video.
You not serious?
And then tomorrow, somebody has to climb on them all buses to go to work.
Easy, buddy.
The police need to, that's why I see they need to station police officers in that area.
Hey, fellas.
And they not doing
I
that.
love that pussy.
So I don't put that to them on this one. It's them for them. So that's God guess where they.
Next one. Just shut the lockdown and out of there.
Donkey Beach. That's where that was, Donkey Beach. It looks like a movie out of Afghanistan or somewhere. It's like a convoy, a military convoy. Vehicles kamase muna ale beach la. I mean, are these people serious? And what is even worse is the sooty wares that are encouraging that and covering for them. Endangering every single person in St. Lucia. And you have to be outraged about this. And if you're vexed tonight that you didn't get to go to the supermarket, and if you're mad as hell tonight because you didn't get gas, these are the people you have to blame for that. Because one more day, just to allow people to go to the supermarket or do anything else, you can say what you want. Either you get gas in your car, you're dead. Because all what you're seeing happening there, which transpired over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, the results of it you're not seeing now, you know. What you're seeing today is as a result of the reckless behavior 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago. So everything that happened there on the weekend, we will see the further results in 2 weeks' time. That's right. In 2 weeks' time. So these people, these ignoramuses, and those words that I cannot say to describe them on TV, are creating an even more perilous situation for St. Lucians in 2 weeks' time. Say it and so. But just in case some of you, well, you know, I can tell you, Sunday, I was shocked beyond relief, beyond my wildest imagination. Because on Sunday, I thought it was a regular day. There's a curfew in effect. And then there's the social distancing requirements and the state of the country with cases of COVID-19. And people were out and about. I'm like, what's going on? It's like it was a regular day. And these same people now, if they do become infected, are the ones crying out to the government about health care. Yeah. Some of these very same people you see out there without a care in the world are the ones bombing the government about health care. But you know, sometimes we need a wake-up call in St. Lucia. Too many times. Because everybody will tell you, and you've been hearing it for the past week, Tet Saint Lucien, wed, you pack a coupon. And I have said it as well. They will get on a plane to New York, to London, to Toronto, to Miami, and elsewhere in the world. And as soon as they land, bro, you swear he's a totally different person. They'll comply with the rules. They will park their car 20 blocks away and walk to where they're going. But these same people will get on a plane and come back to St. Lucia. And as soon as the plane touched down, the doors haven't opened yet. Même c'est vie mal mes là. C'est même vie mal mes là. Et c'est même vie femelle mes là, Yoni. So if you want a further wake-up call, because nobody in your family is sick yet, the people who have contracted corona, you don't know them, you don't see them, you don't see the misery that they're in, let's go a little bit away. Let's go to Brooklyn, to a video that was posted. Let it sink in for some of you out there. Roll it.
Y'all, this shit is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is for real. This is Brooklyn, y'all. Family, y'all take it serious. Y'all take this thing real serious, y'all. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is real. This is right here in Brooklyn. This is right at Brooklyn Hospital. Y'all, this is for real. They put the bodies in 18-wheeler, y'all. Please stay inside. This is for real. This is no joke, y'all. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is Brooklyn Hospital. Sorry for the camera shaking, but this is for real, y'all. This is for real. Please stay inside. Please pray for the people. Please pray for the people, y'all. This is for real. This is for real. This is for real. If y'all not taking it serious, this may make you want to take it serious, okay? This is for real. My hand is shaking because it's hard to look at this right here, what I'm saying right now. It's hard to believe this. But y'all, this is for real. This is for real. This is live from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn Hospital. They're putting bodies in the back of a freezer truck, y'all. Please stay inside. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. Lord, have mercy. Help us, Lord. This is for real. Please, please, y'all stay inside. This is real, y'all. This is coming right now. I'm right here now, right here outside the hospital. This is going on right now. This is live, y'all. This time is 10:40 Sunday morning. This is down. This is down. Come on. Let's pray, y'all. Pray. Pray. Get on your knees and pray. This is for real. This is for real. They put the bodies in the back of an 18-wheeler, in the back of a freezer truck, y'all. This is for real. This is for real. Lord have mercy. This is for real, y'all. This is no joke. Stay inside. I'm in my car. I got my mask. I got everything. I got my gloves. But I got my windows up. I'm in my car. But I got to show y'all this. This is for real. They're dying, dropping like flies. They're putting bodies. Don't have room inside the hospital for bodies. They put them in the back.
Yep. You get the idea? Those of you at your River Lime or River Bash or whatever you call it, your River Papi show, how many of y'all around cursing at the police? Yeah. Cursing at... Show that River Lime again. The gross stupidity in this country. Roll it again.
Hello everyone. We are going to ask everybody to evacuate this area. Stop that and move to your home.
You all will learn. You learn. You heard the man there appealing to everyone, to the world, to those of you whose heads too hard, loose. You all don't want to hear. But then, you know, that reminds me of something. Reminds me of something. We're going overtime tonight, so. Reminds me of something. Remember a few months ago, folks, the latter part of last year, latter part of 2019, when a certain ship came to St. Lucia. In fact, it was the U.S. Navy hospital ship, USN Comfort. And remember what so many of the ignoramuses and the propagandists and the BSers were saying, oh, don't go on that ship. The US want to experiment on you all. They're going to give you all injection. You're going to die. And up to now, Pearson for more. You're going to die. And people are dying. Oh my gosh. Don't go on that. They're going to experiment on you all. They want to kill black man. Remember the stupidity? I'm so itching to refer to it as something else. But we'll stick with stupidity tonight. It's something with 2 S's in it. 3 S's. 4 S's. You're going to kill people. Don't go on that ship and blah. I mean, unimaginable, palpable stupidity. So let's see some of the photos that were taken when the USN Comfort, the hospital ship, was in St. Lucia last year. Let's go through the photos. The Prime Minister, hold on there. The Prime Minister, the Chief Medical Officer, the same Chief Medical Officer and Prime Minister who feature in high in what's happening now. Next one. Examining, say, Layokai Vini Trezon. That's where they're going to give you all injection to experiment on you all. Because that's what they were saying. They want to experiment on black man. They want to give you injection so you can't reproduce. Tout calte bêtise. Next one. Yeah? Look at it, folks. Next one. Hospital ship with 1,000 beds. Chief Medical Officer there again. Prime Minister Alan Chasney and other government representatives there. And we have one more photo. Let's go to the last photo. Minister Guy Joseph, Prime Minister, and the captain of the USN Comfort, looking at the different facilities and equipment and what's available on the ship. But they had all kinds of things to say about that. But you know, time is the catcher, you know. There used to be a radio show a long time ago when radio shows were a big thing. It's called Time is the Catcher. And those of you who remember it, you remember it. Every Sunday night after the TTT show. Remember that? Top 12 tunes of the week? Yeah. So now let's go to a news article, a news clip from the US just today or yesterday. Let's go to that clip.
Well, our next guest is here to give us more information on the USNS Comfort that just arrived in New York City. Navy medical professionals on the ships in New York and California will assist local healthcare providers by offering care to people who do not have the virus, freeing local hospitals and clinics to treat COVID-19 patients. So joining us...
Utanlikuma, the same ship they say that the US does not use. They don't use it for their people. They send it down to the islands in South America and Africa, Ektupa, Puchwemun, to experiment on people with drugs, to give them injection, to sterilize men so they can't reproduce. The same ship with the same captain and the same crew going to New York to assist. And I bet you some of these people have relatives in New York who will darn well welcome going on that ship there. La Panjanwa in New York. You see the foolishness? You see the stupidity? But that is some of our people for you. That is the nonsense they will peddle, and the nonsense they will peddle for politics. Oh, the politics word at this time. Oh no, don't bring that up. Don't mention that word. When you have certain persons out there saying, well, in this crisis, we shouldn't politicize anything. We shouldn't bring politics into it. You know who they are. I'll tell you who they are just now. Philip J. Pierre. Oh, you don't need to bring politics into this. Dr. Ernest Hilaire. We don't need to bring politics into this. They're on tape. Dr. Ernest Hilaire at the private sector meeting at the Harbor Club 2 Sundays ago. Philip J. Pierre, who said, oh, we must not politicize this and this, that, and everything else. And is the one injecting all the politics into it. You know I have the evidence, folks. Don't think I'm just going to talk off the top of my head. I'm not so reckless, and I'm not so devoid of investigating the facts and bringing them out to you. When Prime Minister Alan Chasney, on the 1st, was it 1st of March, was attending a CARICOM meeting in Barbados to discuss with other CARICOM leaders and the cruise industry and medical personnel from around the region to discuss protocols and strategies and to coordinate the effort in the fight against the coronavirus. Philip J. Pierre is the one. He is the one at a town hall meeting in Dennery North who said Prime Minister Alan Chasney refused to go. He didn't say he's not sure, whatever. He used clear and definitive language. And then he said that he had proof. But the same Philip J. Pierre is the one who was not at the meeting, the NEMAC meeting, on the 28th of February, who is now accusing Prime Minister Alan Chasney of not attending a critical meeting when he actually was at the meeting. And then subsequently now at a press conference, when the bombs started falling all around him, said, oh, well, it was his source and it was a reliable source. And not minding that Sean Edward was at the meeting, that Sean Edward could express in glowing terms what was said to him by the CMO and the presentation and the other health officials there, how any fears that he had were laid. They were dismissed, dispelled. That he was so confident now, and that the capability of our health system in St. Lucia, or the professionals here, was world class. At another meeting, you want to talk about politics, at the Harbor Club with the private sector, Philip J. Pierre was invited. Ernest Hilaire was asked, whilst the Prime Minister was addressing the gathering, whether the leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, would be in attendance. And Dr. Ernest Hilaire's response was, yes, he'll be here shortly. Ipaheme vini. But lo and behold, that clearly was a ploy for him to take everyone by surprise, because that same night, all of a sudden, last minute, you get a notice, leader of the opposition, to address the nation. Address the nation. Leader of the opposition. The pretend prime minister. You know, like some people, like some political actors want to coin and give him that whatever you want to call it. Prime Minister in waiting. Oh, you ever hear such pappy show? Prime Minister in waiting. Where is that anywhere? I know someone in waiting is somebody who has achieved the position and is waiting on some event for them to take over, for it to be like the Carnival Queen. The Carnival Queen in waiting for the old years Queen to step down and for her to take the place, for her to be given the crown, because she hasn't taken the position yet. But Philip JP hasn't won any elections. How is he the Prime Minister in waiting? He's a pretend Prime Minister. And he's in a game of one-upmanship. You know what that is? Like somebody does one thing, and the other person, their competitor, or the one trying to compete, wants to do something else to look better. So chaque Alan Chaslin parle, il ka parle too. Chaque Fortuna parle, brap, il ka parle too. One-upmanship. Whatever you do, they have to try and do something else. Do something else. Do some competition. But in trying to gain all these political points, we now go to, but you know, well, there was a address recently. Let me make sure I have it lined up for you, because I don't want to preempt. Yeah, there, okay. Well, let's go into it. Let's go into it. In this crisis, there's been the constant call of not politicizing anything. Well, tonight, folks, I will politicize it, because it is politicized already. So, on Sunday, we had an address to the nation. An address to the nation by Philip J. Pierre on the stimulus package that he is offering to the government. He's proposing, his party, the opposition is proposing to the government. So, let us go. You have that lined up for me? Great. Philip J. Pierre's address to the nation on the stimulus package, Sunday evening? Let's go to that segment I want you to tell me if that ain't politics. Roll.
Let me thank our health and medical professionals who have been giving so much of themselves for us already on the front line in fighting this disease. We are heartened that the government has at least been made to remove you and the patients of Victoria Hospital to the new OKU Hospital, which the St. Lucia Labour Party completed almost 5 years ago. You and the citizens of this country deserved no less.
Go back 20 seconds there for me and let's play that again. 20 seconds. I want you to hear it.
The government has at least been made to remove you and the patients of Victoria Hospital to the new OKU Hospital, which the St. Lucia Labour Party completed almost 5 years ago. You and the citizens of this country deserved no less.
Why is that big fat guy laughing when you want him? Huh? Which the St. Lucia Labour Party completed 5 years ago. Blase, like, you know what? This hospital has been going all along. No politics, eh? No politics. But let's go to the next clip following that. This is why.
This is why we have presented these recommendations for an economic stimulus package. We must be extraordinarily disciplined in our response to this pandemic. It means strictly and rigidly following the instructions given to us by the health authorities and adhering to the regulations set by the government to combat the disease. frequent hand washing, maintain social distancing, and stay at home.
Okay with fat guy. They have presented the recommendations for an economic stimulus package. But you see, this is the dirty politics, you know. I'll say the dirty politics. Because what Philip JPA did not say there on Sunday was that the proposal by the opposition was only handed over to the government Sunday afternoon. They didn't give it 5 weeks ago or 1 month ago or last week. The same afternoon. Right? Now tell me, if you truly don't want to play the politics, and if you truly in good faith want to engage the government, the Prime Minister and the government, in coming to resolving or dealing with the situation, the crisis that we have now. And I've just heard that 2 more people have been arrested in town for breaking the curfew. Stay at your home. You're not hearing. Right? I don't know, folks. I don't know. I really don't know. It wasn't a week after. There's a few hours after, you know. Where's the confidentiality with the government? And what you're doing there, in fact, give me number 1 and number 2, the photos of the stimulus package. There's number 1, with a list of millions and this, that, and give me number 2. More millions here and this, that for that sector and this one, that. TSala. Upon their Facebook page, on Facebook. You telling me that you could not wait, and you know on a Sunday, and having been a deputy prime minister, as you said, and having been one of the longest serving parliamentary representatives, over 22 years, you would know, Philip JPA, that on a Monday, cabinet meets. And if you present that to the government as a proposal, not as a demand, a proposal, because previously you had generalized that there needs to be a stimulus package, that we need to help the people who can't afford and the people who lost their jobs, and that's all well and good, but now you've gone into the area specifics. But you see again, it's the modus operandi. Say, man, yes, you need labitid, cooperate. Give the government an opportunity to meet her. Let cabinet meet on Monday. Let the government get back to you and say, well, we can do this and we can do that, or we're going to wait or whatever. And have a logical back and forth. Oh no! Right away now, without giving the government the opportunity to even breathe, you call so-called address to the nation on one station or wherever. Right? To tell St. Lucians now and be giving them the expectation that what you propose there is what they should get, without discussing with the government any limitations that it may have, without discussing where the money coming from, without discussing anything at all. So now the people of St. Lucia that you have given this information are now expecting. They're now expecting. But you know, that is the interesting thing. Like I say, when the SLP in office is one set of rules, when they out of office is something else. So, where was the transparency and the revelation to the people of St. Lucia with Rochamel? Where was it? And where was your voice? Huh? And remember, folks, remember what was said about DSH? that Dr. Kenny Anthony did not want to come to the people with it. You know, create an unreasonable expectation with DSH before everything was worked out and all of that. Remember that? Remember the letter of comfort to Robert Ainsworth? Remember that? It was not released to the public. It was discovered after. So why can't these same courtesies, these same expectations of working things through, especially in this time of crisis, and especially when you continue to say, you're not going to politicize this. Let's not play the politics, when that is exactly what you do immediately after you say so. And then, you know, as if the government of St. Lucia is some different entity to all the other governments in the world. Governments and countries that have billions and trillions of dollars at their disposal. Countries like the United States that can just print money. We don't have that luxury here. We don't. We have to be very circumspect. And to all those out there, whoever they are, who can make all these grandiose promises at the drop of a hat and say they'll give how many millions for this and that, and nobody has a clue of how that's going to be paid. And then you have all the satellites echoing out there on social media. The brain boxes that are only brain boxes when they're out of office. Oh, and the CIP money, and what shall they do if the civil? You're a bunch of ignoramuses. You bunch of propagandists. You know darn well what you're saying is incorrect. Or where's St. Lucia CIP money? Well, the CIP money is accounted for. And y'all keep regurgitating the same old vomit. It's there in the estimate of expenditures and exactly what it's going to. Ernest Hilaire tried the same thing in the House. Until he had to sit down because they gave him the line numbers and what page it was referring to and everything. The codes. Remember that? The codes. But still, as I've said before again, no matter how you dispel the bluffs, the fluff, no matter how you present the evidence, no matter how much facts are laid on the table, stoic refusal to accept anything that is said and just continue repeating the same nonsense. CIP funds in St. Lucia are accounted for. Philip J. Pierre, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, all of them, they know the measures and the policies in place for the use of funds coming out of the Treasury. But of course, with that list of things, the suggestion is about, well, we heard the talk already about the airport tax and it. Really? If that airport development tax had not been zeroed, remember the elections promise, oh, we're going to get rid of that, people can't afford that and all kind of thing. We would have had about $200 million in there right now. And that money would have been able to be used. NESOPA. And that's the same argument all along, that if you had gone the route of the developer with the PPP, there would be nothing. How can you all call for the money now? But you know quite clearly that the money has already been assigned, so you're creating again an unreasonable expectation from the people of St. Lucia that this money can be accessed. It cannot. Because it's the security, the same thing I spoke about last week. It's like you put land as security for a loan. And just because, for example, now you lose your job, you can't go sell that land. It's already tied to the bank. The bank has first dibs on it. But we're trying our best as a small island to fix things. The US balling. Look at Italy. They balling. St. Lucia Canada is a drop in the ocean compared to the money that they have. Look at the UK. Look at the US. They're balling, but somehow by some miracle, they want St. Lucia to just lage, and the Prime Minister explained it perfectly well tonight. We cannot just run willy-nilly, come book full, and just start giving out money, doing this, do that, prescribing a fix to the solution that we don't even know how bad it's going to get yet. And you have to speak with the different entities. I made my notes. This week, they will be speaking with the taxis, taxi association, vendors, preschools, tomorrow with the unions. Isn't that logical to do? Isn't that the sensible thing to do? But Philip J. will have you believe that the government can just have a meeting today and just decide, we're giving this. Did anybody think about the downturn in the economy and where the government's going to be making money from? 4 cruise ships in the harbor with 14,000 passengers. If you do the 25 per head calculation, as I did recently on this show, you come to about $800,000, almost $1 million in a day with 4 cruise ships in there, in the harbor. So you can well imagine the monies that we're losing. All hotels, Feme. And it's these very same hotels that are giving us the quarantine facility at no charge to the government. And these people want to tell you about, oh, hotels and this, that, we're giving all these concessions. What else we going to do? You dashing you're going to plant? To subsidize or to get rid of the hotels? Let's get real. Let's keep it real around here. What are you going to sell? Dashing? Yam? We have a market in St. Lucia to buy all of these things to make it profitable? I mean, really? Seriously? Like hotels? To give everybody jobs? Just keep that in here. Yeah. I mean, can we produce? I mean, we can produce things in St. Lucia that are going to be cheaper than stuff coming from the outside. We don't have the economy of scale. Look it up. Some of you brain boxes out there. Economy of scale. Nous pas savons assez. We don't have enough space. There are farms in Canada that are bigger than the whole of St. Lucia. You know what wholesale is? Right? The more you purchase, the cheaper per unit item or per unit of measurement. Isn't that correct? So, let me give you an example. If you want to buy a truckload of watermelons, you have let's just say 500 watermelons in the truck to deliver in Vieux Fort. It might cost you on that truck or that trailer, let's just say $100 for gas, for the guy's time, an hour, whatever. $100. You think if you order one, that one watermelon is going to be less? It still costs you $100 to go to Vieux Fort. But now you have one watermelon costing $100, whereas you can divide that more or less by 500 watermelons if you have all of that in one trip. That's why a bus will not go down to Vieux Fort with one person. They'll wait until they load. Because the amount of gas you use is still going to be the same for 1 or 10. So if you get more, you make more money. Because 1 or 2 people will pay for the gas and the rest will be money in your pocket. You get the idea. So what's going to replace tourism for us? Brain boxes. What? But you know, I want to go to a video here. I want to go to a video to prove my point of why Philip J. Pierre should not have come out with that information yet. You ready there for me? With Earl Huntley. Let's roll that video.
4 l'année a fini en 2006, 2007. Tout le gouvernement de Fort Lafontaine. Bon, tout le temps ça, le Premier ministre Kenny Anthony pas te dit rien pour la population. Pour il dit, ils ont petit pas te dire rien parce que pas te exciter monde pour dire oui peut-être là nous m'a dit pour dire moi c'était gardien m'a dit tellement pour me faire gardien il a dit quoi il croit c'est un bagage qui était l'été annoncé ça va être le plat pour dire quoi ou ça nous c'est pour ça ça c'est raison. OK. Le Premier Ministre Compton venu en 2007. Nous-mêmes allés au pour dire agrément fini am Greenberg te m'a demandé pour aller au moi aller au mais dit qui ça qui était fait monsieur Compton dit moi de faire oui il connaît à bord de fait lui-même en l'année 70 là te point bagaille là et qui voyait Porto Rico pour tester il partait jouer une réponse so il finit puis ça so lui-même connaît à bord de fait il dit oui il parle pour si Greenberg.
Okay, I think we went a little over on that day. But you heard what Earl Huntley said? That Dr. Kenny Anthony did not want to tell the people of St. Lucia about Grindberg because he didn't want them to get too excited. Shouldn't that say, you see again the same thing I was telling you? Shouldn't that apply to the proposal that Philip JP and the opposition were making to the government for a stimulus package? Why put those numbers out there when nothing has been agreed upon yet, nothing has been finalized? But so now you want to put pressure on the government, create an expectation in the people, so now say, Twaka o cafe. You see the politics? But I want to go back a little bit there. Don't worry, I see me. I do the thing already. I did it already. On Friday last week, 113 Cubans arrived in St. Lucia. They arrived in St. Lucia. Do we have any photos there? We don't have them? Oh, shucks. 113 nurses, doctors, and biomedical engineers to assist St. Lucia in this coronavirus crisis. And we've seen the models from around the world that if you take preemptive action and get things in order, you flatten the curve. You prepare. But Philip JP is the one who was playing the politics and said that St. Lucia is the worst prepared. Remember that? St. Lucia is the worst prepared. No evidence to support that, you know. In fact, St. Lucia has been a leader in the region under Prime Minister Alan Chasney. Let's say it, give Jack his jacket. And give Alan his jacket. But the politics that they say they're not playing, they're injecting it. Right? So I want, you know, over the weekend I was, you know, after the Cubans came in, you know, I was tossing and turning, you know, it just kept going over and over and over in my mind about the Cubans. I was asking myself, how do we refer to those Cubans? You see the politics again? Are the Cubans our friends? Are the Cubans our family? Or are the Cubans foreigners? So which one are they? Tell me, folks. Are the Cuban medical personnel who came here, are they our friends? Are they our family? Or are they foreigners? And if for the purposes of the SLP with their FFF nonsense, FFF only applies when you want, when you say. Nobody else. You will decide. So if they're not our friends, family, or foreigners, then the only logical conclusion I can come to, wait for it, folks, is that they are our enemies. You see the dilemma you put yourself in, you put us in. So let me ask you the question. Are the Cubans our friends? Are they family? Or are they foreigners? So if you now have a problem in trying to use one of those words to describe them, then you're realizing the stupidity and the politics in trying to label people with those three words. You see, but then, you know, people making ludicrous assertions and everything. But I'm going to leave this with you, so you think about it for a little bit. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. See you after the break. And you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Lots of things going on tonight. Just received a report with video of police-involved shooting in Grosley during curfew hours. And that came to me about 20-25 minutes ago. Now, you're not finished yet. We go in tonight. Don't forget that, folks. So, let's get on to the action now. Let's get on to the action. So, these Cuban doctors, nurses, and biomedical engineers, they're here to help us. But the same thing they say, no politics. No politics, folks. No politics. OKEU. Dr. Kenny Anthony, well, I don't know. Do I want to go there? You know, because, let me see here. Had to, in a press statement last week, had to mention that, is there a graphic that you have there for me? Folks, bear with me there tonight because I want to make it right for you. I don't want anything to be missing in the storyline. But anyway, he said that on Wednesday, the same day that the move began to OKEU, because Victoria Hospital is now going to be made the respiratory center in anticipation, in preparation again, in preparation for the coronavirus situation that is going to be coming our way. And he said, of course, you have to remember that, Philip JPS said it, and then he said, of course, you have to remember that the SLP are the ones who got the grant from the EU for the building of that hospital. Well, whoop-de-doo, Kenny! Whoop-de-doo! So you got the grant, so what? You didn't open the hospital. You didn't open it. But you see, you know, let's not inject politics. And your next few words is injecting politics. Well, great. You know, you had to come and take away some of the dazzle. You know, you had to inject yourself in it. Well, it's great. The nurses and doctors are moving there and blah, blah, blah. But don't forget, folks, we are the ones who got the grant. You got the grant and you couldn't open it. In fact, what the best that you could do, is have a naming ceremony. A naming ceremony. Show me that photo that was posted just last week, Wednesday. These are the, sorry folks. These are the Cubans, Friday arriving, the 113 doctors, nurses, and biomedical engineers. And the other photo you have? You only have that one? Okay, we were only able to get that one downloaded in time. So let's see the photo which was posted by Dr. Kenny Anthony. There it is, folks. Leave that up for me there, please. Leave it up. You know? That's what we're talking about there. I just want you to... Can you zoom in to the top of that there? And that is Dr. Kenny Anthony and the then EU ambassador, Mr. Michael Barford. Okay? Mr. Michael Barford. And I'll tell you what he's saying on the top there. St. Lucian's will at last enjoy the benefits of a new hospital. That's March the 25th at 6:07 p.m. It was the foresight to Tansai where politics lako. It was the foresight of the St. Lucia Labour Party in applying to the EU for a grant at the time when Corona set to patu, when we scrambling to open the hospital, when it was not planned to be opened yet. Everybody's rushing to get things in order so that we can deal with any outbreak or situation in St. Lucia relating to Corona, to Rona. But let's not involve politics. Let's not inject politics. And in his first line, the second word, second sentence, it was the foresight of the St. Lucia Labour Party in applying to the EU for a grant to make the construction of the new hospital possible. Huh? That's it. You know? Shameless politics. You can take that down now. But you know, the record is there in this internet age, folks. In this internet age. The record is there. And the whole big tralala and the money that was spent. You're talking about it was the St. Lucia Labour Party who got the grants, not Party Safini. And it seems like that is almost always the case with projects. Either say cost overrun or it have finished. Talk about St. Jude's, people. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. So let us go to the naming ceremony and the performance by nurses and of course Dr. Stephen King and let's play the video for the entertainment of the people.
Ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough. No, ain't no valley low enough. No, long enough. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. We invite EH Staff to come and join us right now. EH Staff, come on. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you.
Yeah, let's go back 1 second before that finished there. I want to see Dr. King in his glory. Let's roll back about 5, 6, 10 frames from the end.
We invite EH Staff to come and join us right now.
From the end. Hold by now. Come, miss. Yeah. There it is. There's one frame again. Where Gasa? Oh. Chebe. Got Dr. King. Happy as a whatever in mud they say in St. Lucia. Happy as a whatever in mud. Dr. King. Naming ceremony. That's the grant you all got from the EU, and the most that you all could do with it was give it a naming ceremony. Put a plaque on. Put a plaque on. But I want you to go back to that graphic from the Facebook page with the plaque, and I want you to zoom into the photo of the plaque and the naming with the EU ambassador and Dr. Kenny Anthony. Put that up for me, please. Don't make me come inside there tonight. Mahafashe. Mahafashe! Lucians! Y'all ain't easy, you know. There we go. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. But you see, folks, I couldn't get the picture for you, the photo. But you see there in that photo, at the bottom, you see, maybe that's why it was done, because they realized where things were going. And they knew, don't tell me they didn't know, they knew they couldn't finish St. Jude before elections. And they knew they couldn't open OKU before elections. But damn it, we got the grant, we did all of this work, there's going to be something left for posterity. And at the bottom of that plaque it says, opened by Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. In the yellow at the bottom there, how ironic. Opened by Dr. Kenny Anthony. Named. This is a hospital named, that's right. Named by Dr. Kenny Anthony. But let's go. You see, I present to you, let us go to the video and the plaque unveiling. I want you to see it in all its glory from February the 21st, 2016. Roll the video.
And there you have it, the unveiling of the plaque of the new Owen King EU Hospital. Gaspar, I did not get your thoughts on today's proceedings.
I am looking for words to describe it. Fantastic, I mean, impressive, very well organized, smooth, and I must say, listen, it's refreshing as well to be in the midst of such an auspicious occasion, to be in the middle of it. Well, we just watched the balloons going up, yes, the helium balloons being released, and wow, it is magnificent. With all of course, balloons in the colors of the national flag, and they are soaring in the sky. I don't know if someone is lucky enough to catch it and keep it as memorabilia. You know what I mean?
I bet you haven't seen that face in a while. The former Minister of Health there went so, what's smooth and whatever he said there? Smooth. Naming ceremony. Balloon. What balloons? Balloon. Balloon. Helium balloon. Tout kalte bagay. Egla ou fini la fap. Yo fè me anko. Hors d'oeuvres. Oh, oops. Hors d'oeuvres. Mais c'est moun la qui pa bien parler. Hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. Naming ceremony. But now you have a government that has gotten into office. You can say whatever you want about years or whatever. This government did it. That's a fact. Let's deal with the facts here. That's what we deal with here. But you have to rain on the parade. You have to rain on the parade. Well, it was the St. Lucia SLP government that got the loan. Excel ça ou ça fait, c'est manger yon de toi hos devas, et gladje de yon de toi ballon man coulé flag là. Combien de ballons qui étaient là? About 20, about 30 ballons, 20 ballons. We'll take a break and we'll take your calls when we come back. Right back. Well, welcome back, folks. That was a quick one. Let's have the number up on the line. We're going to be taking your call soon. But you should not forget, folks, always remember during this crisis, because it is a crisis, it's a global pandemic, wash your hands. Soap and water. Best thing that you can do. 15 seconds at least, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, all the better. Use hand sanitizer. Got mine right here. Don't forget to use that, folks. Hand sanitizer is the best way to go until you can wash your hands. Right? Social distancing, don't forget that. Keep your distance, 6 feet. Well, now, since the total shutdown, effective 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, stay at home. We have a call. Good night. Let's keep it real. Good night. You're on the air.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
I think if you're keeping it real, you need to keep it real in all ways.
That's your contribution, caller? Thank you
No,
very
that's
much.
not all.
Thanks.
No, that's not all.
Well,
That's not all.
let's go. We don't have all the time in the world.
If you're saying that the Labour Party could not open the hospitals, and that it was the United Workers Party. The fact is, the United Workers Party opened the OKEU hospital. I think it's all fair for Dr. Anthony to say that the Labour Party secured the grant. Isn't that a fact?
Caller, I think you're missing the point here. The statement that this government is the one opening it is as a result of the statement that Dr. Kenny Anthony made that is totally irrelevant. And that is the point I am making, and you're getting it so clearly. What was the need to say that? And if he can say that, then you can counter and say, well, and this is where the snowball effect happens. And that is the point that I want you to get from that. That when you make that statement, what is the relevance to what is happening now? Because if you can say so, well, we're the ones who got the grant, instead of saying, congratulations to the government, yay for the employees, yay for the people who have been languishing for so long, yay that we have a great facility that's going to open up and allow VH to be used as a respiratory center to deal with this coronavirus crisis. That is the point I am making. Thank you very much, caller. We got to go to our next caller. Thank you. Thank you. You want to get in a chicken and the egg kind of thing there with me. You understand exactly what I'm saying. We're not wasting time here tonight. Curfew, 24-hour lockdown, Anuale. We have another call. Good night. Let's keep it real.
Hello?
Good night.
Hello. The Prime Minister should have given people at least 2 days notice so they could stock up with the groceries and things, because he cannot feed the whole nation. I find that was 2 days or 3 days, at least 2 days notice.
Well, thank you very much for that point, caller. So but Corona is not waiting 2 and 3 days. No, thank you so much. St. Lucians are the one who put themselves in this situation. But I started off the show tonight. Caller, let me tell you something.
Is he going to feed the
hold on.
That's a wicked thing to do.
Hold on. Cut me off. We don't have time for that nonsense tonight. St. Lucians have been the architect of their own demise in this situation. And it's either you can go and buy a can of sardines now, or you die from corona in the next 7 or 14 days. The measures had been put in place, and people were warned to observe the social distancing. And from the advice of the chief medical officer and the World Health Organization, with the models that they have in place projecting on the numbers that are going to come out of this, it was decided, and I don't think that was made lightly, because St. Lucians had every opportunity all along to get things in order. Stay home. You saw them cursing the police. You saw them coming in at Donkey Beach. All reports from all over. You saw them in Tuya last night, partying and like it's 1999. What you gonna do? When they gonna get the chance? They didn't have a chance before to do it right? Who is right and who's wrong? Who's taking the responsibility, the responsible action? No more apologies, friend. No more apologies. And good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night. You're on the air.
Hello, good night.
Yes, good night.
Yes, I agree with you when you say. I agree with you. If Philip J. Pierre made the decision he say he wants the government to do this, why don't he start on his end giving packages and helping the general public?
Well, caller, actually, I really did feel that the SLP was going to announce their own stimulus package, And then when I saw all of that, I say, they want to pass it off on the government and make it seem like it's them.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. We're a country, and the government don't have its own printing plan to print money to just give away left, right, and center.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. So they need to, if he's stating all of this to the country, why don't he start with his salary, start with his savings, start somewhere.
Caller, don't wait for hell to freeze over on that one.
Okay.
Thank you very much for calling.
Welcome.
Thanks for keeping it real.
Good
Thank you. You see, folks, this government has been clearly deliberate in its actions from the get-go. Even when all the insults and the accusations of not being ready were being hurled, they were putting the measures in place, getting the equipment in place, putting the protocols, the training, everything. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night, you're on the air.
Hi,
Going once.
how are you?
Yes, fine, thank you. Let's go, caller.
All right. I don't know what people thinking in their head. People are stupid. If the Prime Minister announced that he's giving 2 days for people to go into town, we already in the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you think is going to happen in town, in supermarkets, etc., etc.? It's been 2 weeks now. It's in fact the whole month of March we've been being told to stock up on goods. So people are not taking this seriously,
That's right. That's right.
People are not taking this seriously. It's a joke to them, and they're out there cursing the police. I was in town on Monday getting supplies, and one is quarreling with the security at the supermarket. She wants to get essential needs. What other essential needs, Mr. Williams? Cigarettes?
You gotta be kidding
for
me.
a joke.
Yeah.
And Philip JP is coming on TV and giving all these numbers, 2.1, 1.4 million. Why are you putting false hope in people's minds? Now people are expecting these numbers.
That is right.
And as a matter of fact, right now, as we in shutdown, what if all the people are asking for stimulus package now? Where are they using it? The economy at a halt. Where are you going to use the stimulus package now? All the banks and everywhere are halting things and giving people time. It's only been 2 weeks. I mean, come on, a normal salary takes a fortnight to come into effect.
Yeah. And the government has already, with discussions with the banks and the ECCB and everything, gotten these measures to be put in.
With Wasco, with Lucy,
That's right, caller. That's right. That's right.
But thank you very much. I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for keeping it real. And folks, the government isn't just going to say, okay, we'll give 10,000 to Stevie Dawes or 50,000 to this or whatever. They have to run the numbers. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night, you're on the air.
Yeah, good night, Robert.
Yes, sir. Let's keep it real.
We use JP connotation, flash mail, you know? Because when it was 911, what stimulus package did they put in place?
Good one, caller.
And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Thanks for keeping it real. But this government is being prudent. Folks, you don't just make decisions like with so much money to expend in a stimulus package. You have to make the calculations. You have to figure out what St. Lucia's payments. St. Lucia has creditors. We have debt. We have to pay them. Life goes on beyond next month or the month after. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hi.
Good night.
Hi, good night, Mr. Williams.
Good night.
Again, I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you.
And I quite understand the Prime Minister's position on the shutdown of the country. However, I am the owner of a mini mart, and I live away from the store. And I'm wondering whether any consideration will be given to persons like myself to gain access to my business so that I could secure my goods, especially the perishable items. Do you have any information?
I don't have any information for that specific instance that you're referring to, but I'm sure there could be an answer for you if you call 311. They will be able to direct you to either the police or to some other government agency that would be able to give you information. I'm sure they're listening, and that is a very valid question that you're asking. And call 311, and I'm sure if they don't have an answer for you, that they could get somebody to get back in touch with you, because there are essential services that are still operational, and I will hazard a guess that something relating to what you're saying has been discussed, and if not, I'm sure it will be addressed shortly.
Okay then, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your call. And that's the kind of call we want here, folks. That is a very important question that was asked, and I'm sure the relevant authorities will address that in due time. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Nabad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one thing I observed tonight when the Prime Minister was addressing the nation.
Yes.
I did not hear anything about the farmers in St. Lucia.
Well, caller, I agree with what you're saying, but the total shutdown is a total shutdown. And
no,
unfortunately, hold on a second, you're talking about the stimulus package?
Yeah.
Well, all of that will unfold eventually, because there's no stimulus package that's coming tomorrow. As the Prime Minister said, there continues to be discussions, and I made notes at the time, with the taxi association, vendors, preschools, tomorrow with the unions. So I'm quite certain there's going to be something in there for the farmers. In what way, shape or form that takes course, I can't give you the answer to that, but I'm sure the government is going to be quite comprehensive in the stimulus package and how they're going to work that out.
Yeah.
Okay, caller?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, as far as checking your shop, I got Ma'am, the person who just called a while ago, I got a message here. Oh, come on now. I got a message here regarding that, and my computer's acting up, but I saw it just before it went off, that you should call Nemo. That's the mayor of Castries who messaged me here. He said, you should check with Nemo about accessing your shop. If there are passes that are given for a specific period or specific purpose, if you call Nemo, they should be able to address you being able to access your shop out there. So you see, keeping it real gets the answers up right away for you. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good night.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I just want to give Mr. Philip JP a reminder.
Go ahead.
When they won the election and the old civil servants are paying increase, did he remember it was 000? They offered just civil servants alone, but today you want to quote figures for stimulus package, how much $1 million? And in that same time, you all took a salary increase of 80%, and you all give civil servants 000. But today, nothing is running. The economy crash. You want to come and quote millions of dollars, but you all couldn't give civil service 2% salary increase. It was 000 over a period of 3 years.
Absolutely,
and you all took 80% for yourselves. Just remember that, Mr. Pierre.
Absolutely. Caller, you're right on the money. You absolutely right on the money. And let's not forget the promise of $100 million injected into the economy immediately.
Mr. Pierre, there's a gaming draft. When you make a wrong shot, they call it soof. You soof. Stop playing politics in this corona situation.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. I haven't heard that word in a while, soof. But you know, the government is taking things. Everything is not going to happen overnight. Everything is not going to happen tonight or the same night that Philip J. Pierre presented, the same day that he presented the proposal to the government. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Naba.
Yes, sir.
I just have a little concern. I have been having, the show is a good show, and everybody has their side of politics.
So say that again. I didn't quite hear what you said.
I said.
Yes.
Hold on. I said I have been following the show.
Yes.
And the show, it is a good show. Some people may not like it, but like I'm saying, everybody has their side of politics. However, I don't really think at this present moment it is called for, and I've been hearing some callers, it's like calling and really politicizing the show. Now, I understand it's a show, and people will politicize. But Mr. Philip J. Pierre is the leader of the opposition. He's like a watchdog, and he has the right to make his pronouncement and his announcement.
Caller, I totally agree with you. But in saying that he has a right, the people of St. Lucia and I have the right to examine his statements, to examine his argument, and to call him out when I say BS. And I'm calling him out tonight that his pronouncement to the people of St. Lucia as a supposed address to the nation, when he did not give the government not even a day, when he knows that on the following day, the Monday, is when cabinet would meet to discuss it. He did not give the government any level of confidentiality. He did not give the government any opportunity to discuss, even with him, to come back to him and discuss what he did. And I'm saying what he did, in my estimation, was deliberate in sabotaging or in tying the government's hands by giving the people of St. Lucia an expectation with the numbers that he quoted, that the government, in doing anything which may fall short or be different to what he offered, would cause some problems in the country. Thank you very much, caller.
But let me
thank you, caller. We got to take a few more calls. I know where you're going with that already. You've already set your preamble. And Philip J. Pierre is responsible for the response he's getting. You cannot make a political statement. You cannot put the government on the edge. You cannot put the government in the hot seat and expect to just walk away scot-free, especially in this time of Rona. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's a good program. But listen, I wish, not only with your program, but every other program, I wish we would not have this back and forth. To me, at this time, we should not have this going on in this country. Whether it's from your program, whether it's from any other program, whether it's from Jukbois, Richard Frederick, to me, we are not. In fact, that's not the program we should be having now. We need to know what we should do, and it has been coming from the government. Some of us have been so disobedient, and today we are facing what we are facing because of the disobedience.
Well, caller, you said it very well. Today we are facing what we're facing because people did not do what they had to do. And the Prime Minister, as a result of that tonight, the Prime Minister and the Chief Medical Officer were forced to address the people of St. Lucia, to discuss or to tell them what measures this government is taking to protect them, especially when they had been given instructions before, when they had been given guidelines on how to behave, on how to comport themselves, on how to minimize the risk for themselves and every other St. Lucian, because it's not only them. Their irresponsible behavior is putting the entire country at risk, and we have seen.
That I support because that I
support. But caller, even in this coronavirus times, this time of Rona, the statements made in the address by the leader of the opposition on Sunday night has created certain expectations from the people, and even with now the government announcing the total shutdown in the country, there are expectations or apprehensions by people who are not working anymore now, who want to put food on the table, who are wondering about what's coming tomorrow. And these expectations and that uncertainty, that acute uncertainty, is because of the statements made by the leader of the opposition. Thank you very much. We have about 3-4 minutes. We'll take a few calls. You know, let us not get ourselves in a place of misguidedness. That in this time, we've gotten ourselves to discussing these issues at this time because of statements made by the opposition. And these are very important and concerning to the people of St. Lucia, just as the statements about the coronavirus and what it can do to us. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Robert.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, but you see what you are doing there, man. I'm disappointed in you, man.
What am I doing?
You have to let the callers finish a statement, Gap, and you misbehave.
All right, caller, thank you. You're just wasting my time there. Let's discuss the issues. Don't tell me what to do. Have your own show if you want. You know what you want to do? Argue with me and tell me what to do? The discussions and the arguing points have been very clearly laid out tonight, and the basis for making those statements that I have made tonight have been supported by evidence which has been presented to you. We'll take a last call. That's the last one? Okay. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes. No, but do you realize that you're misinforming the general public? That the government is not only the United Workers' Party.
Okay, good night. Good night. Let's not waste time. We're not discussing who's the government. Or the government of the United Workers' Party, if you want to characterize it as such, has been elected into office to make decisions as they see best for the people of St. Lucia. No apologies. Okay? No apologies. And at this time, in the history of St. Lucia, there's no time for pussyfooting or any uncertainty. And certainly, you will not call at this time to distract the attention of the people of St. Lucia. Because whether you like it or not, the issues being discussed tonight are real issues. Corona is a real issue. But as I said earlier, that the politics has been injected into it, and that has to be clarified, and the people injecting the politics have to be called out. Now hold on a second, folks. Let me get a number, because a number of people message me and they want the number. So I will get the number of Nemo right here for you. And Nemo is 452-3802. 452-3802. Folks, that's it for tonight. Unfortunately, we have ourselves in this situation with Rona, the coronavirus in St. Lucia. The situation has gotten to the point where this government, with the advice of the Chief Medical Officer and other professionals in the Ministry of Health, guided by the World Health Organization, have decided that what needs to be done in the best interest of the people of St. Lucia is to lock down the country now. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belma George, spoke about the modeling that is being used to estimate the number of persons who will be infected in St. Lucia, what strain that will be on the medical facilities in St. Lucia, and as a result has made a decision, and the Prime Minister has accepted the advice, and with consultation with the Cabinet of Ministers, with information to the Leader of the Opposition, who said to follow the instructions, even just last Sunday, we have decided that this is the best course of for St. Lucia at this time. And we are all required as St. Lucians, and people who like to say patriots, now is the time to show your patriotism. Stay at home. Wash your hands. Use your sanitizer, because even though you're at home, you still have to be safe. You're not allowed to go to the neighbors. You're not allowed to go to the beach. You're not allowed to go for a walk. You're not allowed to jog. Church is closed. Tout bagay feme. Stay at home. This is the best thing. Unfortunately, some of us refuse to take that advice. Some of us refuse to follow the instructions of the police. Some of us felt that partying in the street and socializing was more important than the safety of all of us. As a result, these measures had to be taken. Folks, thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real. These are Corona times. See you next time, right here on Keeping It Real. I'm Norbert Williams. Good night.